G'day legends, welcome back to the channel. This is a bit of a different one today. Some modifications and improvements I've made to the van since the 20-part build series finished. Pretty much every weekend that I'm not out dragging this around the bush and camping, I'm doing something to it, tinkering, and yeah, I brought the camera along for a ride on most of that. And so this is a episode of amalgamation of, I don't know, 5 or 6 different weekends of fixing stuff or improving stuff that I've jammed together, so it may not flow too well, but you'll get the drift. Overall, van's been going great. Pretty happy with it. Had no real major issues, but there's always things you can tweak, and I think this, people ask me how good is it to have it finished, and I say, well, it's actually never going to be finished. Anyway, stop talking, we'll get into it. Cheers. Yeah, so onto the toe and camber adjustment. Been on a few shakedown tours already now, a few trips out in the bush, down corrugated roads and everything else. See a bit of mud on it actually, which is nice to see. Independent suspensions are notorious for going out of alignment, I've been told. Something I've got to keep an eye on. I've actually eyeballed the passenger side. I reckon the bottom of the tyres kicking, the bottom of the wheels kicking out, so it definitely needs some adjustment. I'll also take the opportunity while I'm underneath there doing all this sort of stuff just to check every nut and bolt, all the water tanks, holders, everything that are underneath there, just to make sure it's all good. So I did toe and camber adjustment when I was just at floor level before I'd built the whole van in the build series. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Which was pretty simple because there was nothing in the way and I could measure everything pretty easily. It's going to be a little bit more difficult now the van's built and it's got all that weight on top of it as well. So the weight's going to make the adjustment a bit more tricky. So I think what I'll do, just to remedy that and make it a bit simpler, is put the airbags all the way up, full height. Then I'll put the wind down steadies down to the ground level, make sure the van's level when they're touching, and then let the air out of the airbags to lower the van back down so all the weight of the van sits on the jacks. That'll take the pressure off the wheel a fair bit. It'll make the adjustment heaps easier. Then when I loosen the bolts, do the measurements, make the adjustment, it won't have the whole weight of the van sitting on it, which should make life a bit easier. Never done this before, I'm making this up as I go along, but I reckon that's the best method. Might get on the Google machine later on, watch a few YouTube clips and just make sure I'm doing the right thing, but yeah, we'll jump into that and see how it goes. Happy with that. I also did the walls of the van where I could access, got that level as well. The walls are parallel, so the bloke who built this must have been a master craftsman. So to get camber, what I'll do is cut a couple of short blocks of something and tape them to the level so that they stick out like that and hit the rim, top and bottom. That'll give me the camber, and as I said, I think this wheel's out a bit that way, and I'll measure the toe. Just put the tape measure into there, off the wheel. Yeah, we'll get into that, see how we go. Check that out, DIY to the max. Not Dodgy Brothers, this is actually precision measuring. Yep, and they match the Crocs quite well. I just chucked it on the side of the van, on the wall, and wall showing as level, which is good, so these are right in terms of their length. And I've just got it so that it sits on the edge of the rim, top and bottom, and as expected, I've already tested this, it's about what I can tell. Let's put the crock on there, necessary part of the equipment as well. I pull it out about 10 mil if she gets back to level up there, to probably about 8 mil actually. So the top is the top camber pushing in, as I said, so it's got to come out like that, or the bottom's got to go in, one or the other. And I'll just measure the toe before I get too far into things. Drop the wind down steadies down, we'll be good to go. Start doing some movement. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. These are the adjustment points. You just undo the bolt on the other side. You can see one there on this side of that one. And then these are the adjusters. I'm just going to put a shifter on those. I've got a torque wrench for the nuts, and to adjust camber, and I'm no expert at this, but I'm pretty sure this one is the camber. So you can see the bolt is, you can see the bolt is down the bottom of the hanger here. Now, my wheel is, I'll just zoom out a bit. My wheel, it needs to go out at the top. So with this arm sitting at the bottom of this adjustment, it's too far over this way. If I rotate this around, I'm pretty sure when it goes to the top of that, the bolt ends up at the top of this mount. It pushes, obviously, this side of the swing arm goes up and the wheel goes out as a consequence. So I'll just undo these ones, rotate this, go out and measure it. If it's good, come back in and tighten it to 190 and then go from there. Forgot to mention I have the added bonus this time around of having a composting toilet fan spewing out beautiful fruity air right next to my head. Well, this is the first test. I've just got that nut bolt adjustment. It's right in the center of the range now. Rotated it till I got to about the center of the range, and it seemed like it moved heaps. So I've just stopped at that point, and I've just chucked this on to test it, and I reckon I've got it. It's pretty much spot on. Maybe even a little slight turn too much. So I'll just nip it back a little bit, and then tighten the bolt before I start doing the toe, and I'll just go and check the other side. So around the other side now. Top and bottom on. Still got a bit to go, so I need to pull that one a bit more. So you can see that's that bolt is now center of the hole. Before it was down here, and I've rotated it around. It's come up to about halfway. I've still got all that adjustment to keep going, but it's gone a little bit far for that one. So I'll just rotate it back slightly so it drops down a little bit lower there. This side, again, it's about middle of the range, but I reckon I'll keep going with it because it wasn't level on the outside, it wasn't perpendicular on the outside, and see how we go. Hard to do this with one hand. I reckon that's going to be pretty good. I'll go and check it. Top and bottom. Call that good. That got it. We'll tighten them back up again and then check the toe. Just did that little slight adjustment in there, went out and measured it. It's now vertical, which is good. And so I've just tightened that up to 190. Just under here, looking at the wheels, you can see, because the top was in, it's obviously putting pressure on this side of the wheel. I can see a slight wear there, so I would have scrubbed those tyres if I didn't catch that early. So hopefully this fixes that situation a bit, and we'll extend the life of the tyres. Yeah, now just going to do the toe and see how that looks. I think it'll be okay, but we'll check it anyway. Just measuring up the toe. Let's push that in tight. 338 mil there. 341 there. So the front of the wheel is 3 mils further out. It's actually meant to be 1 mil further in, so I've got to adjust it 4 mils in at the front to get it back to where it needs to be. And the other side was about the same. So get the adjustment on it, rotate it slightly until I pull that in a little bit, get it back to 1 mil further in at the front and the back, tighten it back up, job done. We'll move on to the next thing. Yeah, just a quick one. Chucked on some fire protection, bit of insurance, bit of peace of mind in case my induction cooker's launching a fat fire into the caravan or something like that, or electrical. So I just picked up one of these from Bunnings. It is a little aerosol, wood, paper, petrol, oil, diesel and electrical fires. It's only going to be a quick blast, but it might be enough to get me out of trouble. And I also chucked in a fire blanket, which just hangs up there, so the straps are there and you can pull it down. So I just put it over here, out of the way of all the things that will probably catch on fire, like the induction and the 12-volt panels and those sort of things. If the oven goes, I figure I can probably get in underneath it there and give it a squirt. So yeah, another quick mod. Next modification, I'm going to get something made up to accommodate all of the plates and bowls and things, and cutlery as well. This is hardwood, just one of those Bunnings laminated panels you can buy. They're like on special for $20 or something. 1200 by 300 by 17. They're about 4 kilos each. I'm only going to need to use 1.5, not even that much, I don't think. So it's probably going to end up being like a 6 kilogram thing. I'm going to put it up here in this section here. It needs to fall short of this end so that I can still open that and get inside there for fuses and things, and also to be able to pull it out if I ever need to. It's going to be, as it's 300mm deep, it only comes out to about here, so it'll be set back a bit from this. The challenge with this is I don't want to put a front on it or have another door on it, so what I'm hoping is when we're travelling and the roof, or that the hatch is closed, the gap between the hatch and the front of the shelving, which will be essentially there to there, is not big enough for anything to fall out and come down. Campsite. Oh dear, that didn't work out too well. Might be wishful thinking. Hopefully that's gonna work. Yeah, we'll just get into it and see how we go. I didn't film much of that, but that's it in. I ended up going pretty light in the end. Didn't put any framing around the outside. Figured I'd go as light as possible. I think I achieved what I needed to. It's good enough. I'm not the best cabinet maker in the world, obviously. This, these don't move, and I know that when they come out, they're only going to be able to make it to there. So for them to fall out, they actually can't fall out because they'll hit the door when we're moving. So I think that'll work. These ones can go like that, but not actually come out. So, don't know. Campsite. Oh. See how we go. Cups going there like that. Sorted okay. And knives and forks in there. What do you reckon? Just put these bamboo trays in. These came from Kmart or Bunnings or somewhere. They're pre-made and they just fitted perfectly in the gap. So I couldn't go past it. Just screwed into the wall. Seemed pretty good. Just hopefully that stuff stays in during transit. If not, I'll put a bit of bungee cord from one side to the other that can pin them in. Make it a bit more sturdy. That one's just got the utensils in it. This one will be for phone, battery, phone to charge phones, sit them in there, drones, all that sort of stuff. And then this slides across to expose the wiring so I can get wires back up through there and into that box later on, which I need to do because I'm going to put these switches onto LEDs. Over here, a bit of a quick mod. We just, I bought this paper towel holder that I've mounted up underneath. That's got a spring-loaded piece in it, stops the paper unraveling, which is really useful in transit. And then I just put these glass jars up the top there. They're going to be drinking glasses. I really don't like drinking out of plastic, so now I've got a glass option there, 300 mils. I just screw back up in there, hopefully tight enough that they don't rattle loose. And the last mod I'm going to do is up in here. We've got some mesh bags, some cotton bags that will house some fruit. I'll just put some hooks up here and they can hang up there and the fruit can sit there and get air circulating around it, which should be useful. And I may put a temper front on that next as well, but probably see that in future episodes. Rock and roll. Another quick mod. Bought a couple of relatively economical axes. Bunnings, I think that one was 40 and that was 11 or something. So they're not probably the world's best ones, but they'll do for this. So I've got a nice little sheath as well, plastic sheath that I've double-sided taped to the box. It's the bottom rests on the bottom down there. Just put the top in, it slides in. Lock like that. I cannot pull that off, literally, so I reckon it'll hold. Same with this one, just a little version. Never forget the axe again. Lazy Sunday afternoon, just doing a couple of little odd jobs on the van. This is a shower curtain, obviously. Very necessary item. You're having a shower and a splash out onto the bed, so it was always something I was going to do. I've got this malleable, flexible curtain rail that's got clips, and you screw it up to the ceiling. It's got metal inside plastic, and you can bend it into a shape and keep it, retains its shape. Unfortunately, it turned up in a really tight spiral in the post, which means it's got this waviness to it, which I just cannot for the life of me get straight and get out, so I'm going to have to live with that. Yeah, so it's just got these little runners. They come as part of the kit as well, and then I've just put split rings on to join the curtain to the runners. Kmart $10 cheapie, curtain, shower curtain. I'm just going to fit it all off all the way around, then I'll run it all the way up to there, to the top corner, and all the way back around, and then I'll get the scissors out and chop it, probably about that high, all the way around. Anyway, I'll get on with that. Pretty boring viewing, so I won't film it, but I'll probably show you the end product. There it is up. I trimmed it. I've got to put a hem on it yet. Pretty terrible job at cutting. Looks like I'm not a tailor as well as a cabinet maker and electrician and plumber and welder. So all I've done is it just pushes there, which looks quite neat, and I've just got a clip on it like that. And then when you want to let it go, you let it go like that, and job done. Could use an iron. I think that'll be all right. And just tuck it away. Put it back up there. Tuck a clip there so it doesn't slide. Sorted. Cracking through the mods these days. So I just chucked another screen in actually. So there's a plastic one. Put another short section of that rail through, and it hangs down here. I've just got it tucked in behind the vent pipe there. Keeps it out of the way neatly. I'll chuck him out here. I'll just pull him out so I can see it. Put it across, fold it across, completely across like that, and just keeps the water out of the back of the toilet area there and off that back wall when you're having a shower. So the spray hits that, drops down, almost touches the ground, which is perfect, and then it just the shower base has got fall in it from just in front of the toilet there back to the drain. So the water hits that and then runs back in. I've actually road tested this, and it works pretty well. Still a bit of water gets behind there, but nothing too crazy. So that's, I think that'll be really useful. Don't know how well this will hold up. It's just plastic, but we'll look after it and keep it tucked away and only use it during showers. It should be all right, I reckon. So that's good. Another real quick mod. I just bought one of these setups from Bunnings. That's a plastic tray that you can lift off. You can wash it and stuff, so it comes off these holders. And I'll see if I can take it off. Oh, there we go. It's just got this mounting point like that, which was just a sticky adhesive back, and it does come off. You can get it off, because I had to take it off because I put it on crooked the first time, so I had to take it off and readjust it. But yeah, it's just toothbrushes. Don't know if they'll hold in there. I hope they do. I hope they don't bounce out, and a bit of hand wash stuff. So yeah, make it a bit more functional in here. I think that's going to be good as well. On to the next mod. This is what I got ahead of me this afternoon. I'm going to mount a Sirocco fan on the roof up there on the ceiling. It's a nice bit of kit. These are really expensive, but I mean, everyone just says they're the best in the market, and they're really quiet and they throw out a heap of air. So I like it. It's got all the different rotations. It's going to go up on the just above here, above this sort of shelf section, so you don't hit your head on it when you're getting in and out, and it's out of the way hopefully. And I've also got this USB and cigarette lighter socket, which I'll put over near the power point there somewhere. I'm not sure of the arrangement yet. Bits of cable, sheath, conduit stuff. I'm going to go fairly heavy on this because I'm going to run it all through back to the panel. I'll just get all this running off one circuit. The wires that come with the Sirocco are like tiny because it's got no drawer at all. Oh, I've just literally spent, would have been like 2 hours, I reckon, on my hands and knees crawling around the floor of the shed trying to find that nut, which fell out when I pulled it out of the box and rolled about 5 meters away from where I was standing. So that was good fun. I wouldn't have even bothered, but it's critical to the mounting. There's a bracket here that you screw to the roof. You got to put those little nuts in the back of it, and they're housed in there and held in there by the mounting plate, and then you can screw into them to hold that onto it. Yeah, really fun that was. Anyway, we'll get into this and see how it ends up. Once again, it was a bit of a mission, but she's on. That's the fan there. I haven't got them plugged in to the fuse box yet, but I'll chuck that in now. So yeah, just put the USB mount there like that, facing the bed, so you can plug in, see what you're doing, and it leaves a bit of space on this side of it, and it tucks in neatly under the 240 there. And just ran the conduit up along there, a bit rough and ready that, but sort of matches the rest of it right. And then up to the fan. Obviously this has got all sorts of different rotation and up and down and pivot, and you can unlock that and rotate it backwards and forwards as well. So I thought that'd be a good spot. It might be drag some air through from there on that rotation, and should be out of the way, sitting above that, I hope, and also potential for it to blow air that way if you're sitting down there or whatever as well. Anyway, next job. A little design flaw from the trailer, and I knew it was going to be an issue when I built it, that I had to rectify, and I've come up with a solution, I think, is the grease nipples here on the front of the swing arms. You can see them there. I can get to those ones on the outside, the two on the outside, easy, no problem. The gun gets onto those, but the ones that I've had in here, with the airbags fully deflated so that the swing arms go up to almost horizontal, I can just nearly get a grease gun onto that nipple. You can see there it's really quite close, so close it's annoying that I can't make it work. But the solution I've come up with is to get some right angled grease nipples. So I've been down the shop and I'm hoping that these will work. So they're the same thread size. I just have to work it out that it's going to, when it rotates up to fully tight, that it's going to face down so that I can get the nipple on the grease gun onto it. So I try and install those now. If the thread doesn't work out that it's facing south, when I put it on, I've got some little washers that I'll put in there as well, just to bring the thread back half a turn or whatever, and hopefully that's enough to get it facing the right direction. Not sure how it'll go, but we'll give it a whirl. Yep, as is typical, that's finger tight and it's facing directly north. So I've got to get it back about a half turn. So hopefully a washer on it will fix that. I'll give it a go with two hands rather than one. That seemed to get it. So she's facing straight down now, which is good. I had to put two washers. They're fairly long threads on these compared to the one that came out of there actually. So probably got, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 turns before it hit the washers. So I think that'll be enough to hold it. And she's tight. Just do the same on the other side. Should be good to go, hopefully. I hope you got something out of that. A bit of a mishmash episode, but got a few things done, which is great. So the van's ready to drag back out into the bush again, which is pretty exciting. Looking forward to the next adventure. There'll be future mods episodes. I've already got ideas about 5 other things I want to do, including, you can see that mountain bike there. I want to put a mountain bike loader on the front box, and I've got to put a diesel heater in. What else? About 400 things. So yeah, stay tuned. There'll be future mods episodes, but cheerio for now.